It was a great place to grow up. I'm an only child, but I had so many relatives in town. Growing up, you couldn't do anything because word got right back to your parents. If you're trying to have some fun and raise a little hell somewhere, by the time you got home, your mom and dad knew about it.
You knew almost everybody on the street. You knew the policemen, for heaven's sake. They used to patrol the streets all the time. We had our own police force. And it was just nice to be born and raised here, really. Mm-hmm.
Morning, everybody. All right, adios. Have a good night. Run!
I really couldn't put my finger on it. It's a wonderful environment. You have great people live here. You have all your conveniences are here. You have the beautiful river.
Where I live here, I can walk to the bakery, I can walk to the local market, I can go to church. We can just take family walks. We can just have that sense of community around here.
It's the blue-collar aspect of Roebling School and the hometown aspect of it. Many of the teachers grew up and were raised here.
I think small-town America is rare. And that's one reason I think a lot of families want to live, in Roebling, Florence Township. We still have that atmosphere.
You come from kindergarten all the way through middle school to high school together, and you make friendships that you'll have forever.
It's just a wonderful place to grow up and have a family.
Good morning, Roebling School. My name is Naraya, and today is Thursday, June 5th, 2014. Our Spirit Week theme for today is Disney. The trivia for today is all about our favorite Disney movies. Good luck! Our theme day winner was the blue team. The winner of the trivia competition was also the blue team. Tomorrow is the last day to earn team points. Wear your blue and gold and be ready for an awesome field day. Centennial celebration is only 2 days away.
Roebling and his brothers planned to build a steel mill for the wire rope business. The mill would be called the Lower Roebling Mills.
I was born and raised in Roebling, New Jersey.
Grew up on 7th Avenue.
I grew up on 6th Avenue.
Fourth generation.
My husband was in the Air Force during the Second World War. I went over and lived with my mother on 8th Avenue.
The last house on 4th Avenue before the tracks.
My husband went to Roebling School. We have 3 children, and they all went to Roebling School.
My brother still lives on 6th Avenue with his wife and 3 kids.
Well, I'll tell you one thing about this town. This town is one of the most still intact company town in North America.
We can provide our workers with everything they will need right here in our town. To the north, a lovely park for the workers to enjoy. To the south, the workers' sturdy brick homes. To the west, a ballpark where teams of men can compete. And to the east, the number 1 gate, the passageway through which every employee enters.
Right in the middle of our town, at 5th and Main, there's a statue of Charles Roebling. And Charlie was the main gopher for this town. He was the guy who promoted Roebling.
Roebling's cared about the social aspect also. If the people are treated good, you give them a good house. I mean, these houses, the company built 767 homes. Everyone's still standing. I think the village will stay, and I hope they take care of this beautiful school. I mean, it's a big, beautiful school.
My father was a foreman at the Roebling Mill, and my mother was the nurse there.
My father worked in the mill he started. Mom came here. Mom started working at the plant at a young age. She worked in the screen shop.
That was an important time. I remember at 12 o'clock when the whistle blew, Dad would come home for lunch when I was a little girl, and then he would go back, and that was a real happy memory.
I raised my children here. Both my children I raised here, yeah. And it was just a nice little place to live, and I loved it. I lived it all my life there.
Roebling was a family. It wasn't a hit or miss. It was real, genuine caring for each other and all the people.
When I left in the morning when I was a kid, my mom said, come home for lunch. Came home for lunch. See you at dinner time. Roebling is a place, and it's always been a place where that does happen.
I lived on 3rd Avenue. My grandmother on my mother's side lived I'd say about maybe 10 houses down on 3rd Avenue. Another 4 or 5 houses down was the grandmother on my father's side.
And we'd go up to Javo's, was on the corner there, the gas station, and play the pinball machines and stuff like the things that kids would do.
We had the park, we had the ball field, we had the river. We'd go down swimming in the river.
It was just a great place to grow up. And this school mirrors that very what I'm saying.
In the 1930s and 1940s, the Roebling steel mill business boomed, and the Roebling School was filled with students. Our school had grades kindergarten through 8th grade. In 1945, 2,000 children attended our large and spacious brick school.
That was a big thing when the mill closed. I remember that. Several of my uncles, my mother's family came from Pennsylvania when the coal regions closed, so they worked at the Roebling Mill. And so when the mill closed, that was traumatic for my immediate family.
It was a big letdown when that plant closed. It was horrible. There was nothing nice about it. And all of a sudden, we're barren.
A lot of people lost their jobs. Some did have to leave. My family chose to stay and work it out.
It wasn't that, town closed, everybody moved away. There was a large contingent of retired people in town who worked for 30 years, 40 years in the town that were still in their homes. They're retired now, and they're living on a pension or something. So that added some stability to the town, not causing it to for everybody to bail.
I remember some of my uncles being out of work, and but the community just rallied around everybody that lost their jobs, and it's just phenomenal.
There was a transition period. A pall sort of raged over the town. It was quiet. There was no sirens. There were no people walking to and from the plant. There was an absence of people, more or less. And the plant wasn't going. It took me quite a long while to acclimate to the realization that, the plant is not here now.
It did make an effect on the teachers, and I think the families too, but I don't think the kids felt it because we as teachers had to put on a strong face and say everything's going to be okay. You still got a house to go to. Mommy and Daddy will be there.
And of course, everybody who lived in town went to this school. The school was always there. It was something that you can identify with. Not only did I go here, but my goodness, my father went to school here.
I think the school was something everybody had in common, something that they could be proud of, that this was a school where the kids got a great education and that the teachers absolutely cared for every kid as an individual.
I think everybody works together in this community and helps each other out. If something bad happens, someone's always there to help you and support you.
I have that pride that I went to school here as a student, and then I was able to teach here. And growing up, knowing the families, going to school with the parents, and then teaching some of their kids, it's just everybody just seems to care about their homes, their families, a togetherness, a pride. And I think that has a lot to do with, I think, the Roebling family, how they started this community.
It was home to a lot of children and families. They knew that their children were going to be well taken care of here, that they were safe here, and that when the children came to school, it was like family.
When you're in class, my goodness, your next door neighbor could be seen. My cousin Loretta was over there. My cousin Louis was in the classroom with me. My friends, John and Mikey, they were there.
I don't know. I always enjoyed my school life. I really did. I just loved going to school here, and I loved living in Roebling, and I've always enjoyed it.
Throughout the 80s and 90s, many teachers who taught in this building left lasting legacies. These teachers gave all our students the opportunity to do many wonderful things. So many teachers at Roebling have gone above and beyond for our students.
All right, boys and girls, we are going to start Davy Crockett. And in Davy Crockett, the sun is stuck between the mountains and can't rise.
Many of the teachers grew up and were raised here, and then they came back to teach here.
And my first job, graduated in June, September, in this building. I started teaching. And boy, I had some of my former teachers now. They're my colleagues. They were just so helpful to help me when I'm starting teaching. Teachers say, come on, and then I find out that they've been over backwards to help me work at my skill of being a teacher.
I went to elementary school here from kindergarten through 8th grade at that time. And then, yes, I taught here for many years, yes. And I retired in 2010.
Yeah, it's nice even coming back here and teaching. Some of my former teachers were still working here, Mrs. Bauer. She even had my old roller skates down there from when I was in kindergarten. So.
A lot of good memories.
Yeah, a lot of memories. And
a sense of community and also a sense of comfort.
My first grade teacher was Mrs. Marie Watson. She was the first black teacher to be hired here in Roebling School. And I remember that when my mom and dad invited her to our house for dinner to welcome her into the town, she fit right in, and she was the reason I wanted to become a teacher.
I left at the very end of the year to travel to China and adopt my daughter. And the day we came home from the airport, with her in my arms, my family had rented a limo. We drove past here, and the word had spread that we were coming home. As we pulled into the Roebling parking lot, every staff member was out front clapping, and some were crying, and I think I was crying. So we didn't even go home. We came here and to the other elementary school that I taught at Duffy School in Florence. We made the rounds to those two schools because the people in those two schools were just as much family as the people in the limo with me.
Yes, I ran the cafeterias in this school, and the high school and the elementary school in Florence. And I loved working here. I did. I loved seeing the students, and they all knew me, you know. In fact, I was born in Roebling too, but they always called me Mrs. Finzenville. You had to do that when they were in school. Yeah, it was just a nice place to be. I never had a problem with a student, never. Lots of times cafeterias have problems because the students kind of pick up things and go, but I never had a problem.
A great town to be raised in, a good school to come to. I thank God every day that I'm still here. That's why I'm still here, and a lot of us are still here.
I want to acknowledge all of the teachers that have gone to school here and who have worked here as teachers. Can you raise your hand? Or stand, please stand. All of the teachers, please stand. Wow. Last, I want to acknowledge a very special lady who is sitting here in the audience. She is 101 years old, and
that's you, then.
She not only went to school here, but she was a kindergarten teacher for 38 and some odd years, right? 39 years. Mrs. Brigger, ladies and gentlemen. Amazing.
I was here 38 and a half years.
When did you start teaching here?
1937. When I was here, we had a first grade, kindergarten to 8th grade. Of course, now they only have kindergarten to 3rd grade. So we had the whole shebang here. But they're very family oriented, and everybody, if you live in Florence or Roebling, you're very proud of it. It's a nice place to live. Yeah.
So if you could go back and do it all over again, would you do it the same?
I would. Yep. See, I taught in Pemberton for a year and a half, and I got a call at Christmas time from my old superintendent of schools, and he said, "Doris, would you come work for me?" I said, "I'd be delighted." So I came here in January 1937 and stayed there all that time. Retired from there. And I still have a lot of my ex-students at school like today. They all come up and remember when I had them in school. I had a great group of people. They were wonderful.
You think it'll last another 100 years?
Oh, I do. I hope so.
1 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 100 years of school. 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 100 years of school. 1 0 0 yeah. 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 100 years of school. 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 0 0 100 years of school. Yeah!
Like, you hear those stories of what the teachers used to do and how the school used to be, and it is really nice. I mean, it's like that, like you said, it's like a Norman Rockwell painting. Like, you can imagine the building then and the way it was then. And you don't want to be the person who comes in and changes that, because there should be an element of that, some element of history here, and that element of like an old school where like it's that small town mentality, small school. It's unique. Every classroom kind of has its own layout. It's not just rectangles going down the hallway. To see the wood floors, to see the built-ins, to see the closets that go into the walls. The storage room has this kind of neat old brick arch that you can tell is from when they built the building. But I think what makes it unique is that it does have these like flourishes that you don't see in modern buildings. This is our school. It wouldn't matter if it was built 3 weeks ago or if it was built 100 years ago. And this building was built to last. They don't build buildings like this. So this building will outlast, I'm sure it'll outlast me. And I know they're going to try to drive by in their old age and say, I was there when it turned 100. And then when it's celebrating, let's say the 125th year or the 150th year, they can look back and see like we were here when they did the centennial celebration. Kind of like you would if you find something from like 1976 when they did the bicentennial for the country. So it's that idea of like I was there when.
How old is Roebling School this year? So, how about you?
100. 100 years.
100 years old. 100 years is pretty long.
What do you think school was like around here 100 years ago? What do you think they did every day?
It was really old and not a lot of people were here. No. I know.
You know?
I do. Old. I mean, new and different. I think that all the classes were like a bit boring. I think it was 100 years ago. More decorative and more pretty. They were very cramped classes. Not a lot of people were in the third grade, and they didn't have bigger celebrations than we have in the modern day. I think it was as fun as this year.
What kind of clothes did they wear? How about you?
Like this uniforms, these uniforms that are like brown and stuff. Old-fashioned stuff.
Old-fashioned stuff? What do you think they ate for lunch? How about you?
Macaroni and cheese. I think they eat meat that they couldn't really cook on grills or anything. Soup.
Soup? Yeah.
Fish.
Fish?
I say they ate peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Here's another question. What do you think school is going to be like 100 years from now? What year would that be, 100 years from now?
2114.
Wow.
They're probably gonna have everything's probably gonna be electronic, and everybody's gonna have their own tablet and stuff. A lot of technology,
Yeah? What kind of technology?
like computers.
Yeah? How about you?
There'll be these holographic papers that you answer them. You just say it to the paper and it answers it.
You think it'll take a bus to school? You think it'll fly to school? Flying cars.
There would be jetpacks. You would fly to school. Fly to school. Be on a flying Lamborghini.